Anyway, like I said, I hope you are doing well on this fine feathered day. A lot of them died because of like their teeth rotting, their gums rotting, something in their mouth. So everyone, take care of your teeth. A book that I have not actually read, but might have told you that I have, and it's a non-fiction book. Like, I thought this was just a silly story about ducks, but no. Hi friend, I hope you're doing well. So today I wanted to tell you about my 25 in 2025, which is the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. Of course, I'd like to read more than 25 books. However, these are the ones that have been sitting on my TBR shelf. There's a couple that haven't been sitting there too long, but most of these books have been sitting on my TBR shelf for years. So it's about time. I either need to read them or get rid of them. I hate getting rid of books, but sometimes you have to. Let me see. I have a box kind of below me, so excuse me for a moment. Okay, so this is in no particular order. However, you know, there's definitely somewhere I'm like really excited and somewhere I'm like, yeah. Okay, so this is a book I asked for Christmas. So it's a book I've wanted for years, but haven't gotten myself, because it was like one of those ones where like I'm interested in, but like I don't need it right this second. It's called In Pursuit of the Common Good, 25 Years of Improving the World, One Bottle of Salad Dressing at a Time. It's just like how they started their business, how they went from like 0 to 100 and then 100 to 1,000 basically. And I'm not talking dollars, I mean like phases of their business. Number 2. So this is called Stuff Matters, Exploring the Marvelous Materials That Shape Our Man-Made World. Yeah, so it's just answering a bunch of like scientific questions. Why is glass see-through? What makes elastic stretchy? Why does any material look and behave the way it does? Book. A biography of George Washington. George Washington, like everyone knows, he's the first president of the United States, but most people don't know too much about him. Like some people know like 1 or 2 stories about like him having wooden teeth. And a lot of people in history that were famous, a lot of them died because of like their teeth rotting, their gums rotting, something in their mouth. So everyone, take care of your teeth, please. But yeah, so people know like a few like random stories, but don't know very much at the exact same time. Another book I maybe perhaps got for the title is called Sorry I'm Late. I Didn't Want to Come. One Introvert's Year of Saying Yes. That's me. Sorry I'm late. I didn't really want to be here. My managers at a job I had was like, why are you always like 2 minutes late? Why are you always like right on time? Like you're either right on time or you're a few minutes late. Why are you always... Well, first off, I told them because they said that I could be up to 5 minutes late and like still clock in and not like get in trouble. So there was that aspect. And then there was the aspect of, yeah, I didn't really want to be here. The next book I wanted to read is called Capturing the Light, The Birth of Photography, A True Story of Genius and Rivalry, which looks like this. I was actually thinking about getting the audio of this because I think it would be one of those ones that would be like more entertaining as audio. But yes, I want to read this. The next book I would like to read this year is called Kingdom of the Wicked. This is kind of a popular book, but not the most popular book. 2 sisters, one brutal murderer, a quest for vengeance that will unleash hell itself, and an intoxicating romance. Now, like I was saying in my last video, we have to be careful about that because too many people, as of late, are having issues with interweaving B-plot into their A-plot. So we'll see if it's actually an intoxicating romance or not. I believe there's a couple of books in this series, so even if it was an intoxicating romance, it probably won't even be really developed until other books. A classic that I have not actually read. I've read like a few like snippets from, but haven't actually read. 100% have lied about reading. There are reasons. Anyway, a book that I have not actually read, but might have told you that I have, is The Hobbit. So yes, I am actually going to try to finally read this one. The next book is going to be kind of hard to read. It's hard to read in general, but it's hard. It's called A Little Manual for Knowing. So this is an 8-step approach that begins with love and a pledge and ends with communion and shalom. So it's like a bunch of different prompts talking about like how to know something or know someone in a way that's more true, more deep, more real than just like knowing a few things at like a more surface level. Like you might know a deep story about someone, but do you know the person? Because I feel like a lot of people don't really want to know people fully, and a lot of people don't want to be known fully. Because when you're known, the negative aspects of who you are have to be at the forefront too. Or they have to at least need a place at the table. So anyway, this is one of those books that looks really small, but because it's just a bunch of exercises, I actually want to take the time to do some of the exercises, so I'm not just going to sit down and read it in one go. Book I've been wanting to read for years. I've had it on my TBR for years. It's called A List of Cages. I don't fully know, because I haven't read it, I don't fully know how to talk about it yet, which is hard because I feel like I should know something, I guess. It's about one character reuniting with his foster brother that he hasn't seen in 5 years, and his foster brother's kind of hiding something, and he's hiding something, and it's about both of them kind of having to grow up through more complicated life issues than I guess most people have to deal with. You know what? I can't even talk about it yet. Once I read this book, I will talk about it. So everyone knows that Agatha Christie writes these murder mystery whodunits, but Agatha Christie is a very talented writer. Not just because she's written 100 and, I actually did a thing where I told people the 100, I literally have a video. Saying like the 100 books Agatha Christie has written. Let me see. Wow, it's been a while. The 66 novels of Agatha Christie. She's written things in all genres, which is why I'm about to bring up this book. I forget if this is in that video with the novels, because it's not her typical murder mystery novel, if that makes sense. It's a thriller. Because her murder mysteries, like, yes, people are dying left and right, but there's kind of a calm, cozy element to it. So, like, I wouldn't say, like, they're cozy mysteries, because some people will say they're cozy mysteries, and I'm like, they're not. This is just different. This is a completely different tone, a completely different feeling. It's like a classic thriller instead of, like, mysteries that are, I don't know. Like I said, no, I wouldn't call them cozy, because they're not, but they're cozier than people who do mysteries nowadays and like get really graphic when they talk about blood and discharge and mucus, and you see what I'm saying? Which Agatha Christie is always a little bit more classy and a little bit more polite. Even though she was a nurse during one of the wars, she was actually very respectful about how she described people's bodies, which is kind of funny to think about. Anyway, this has a completely different feeling. It's an Agatha Christie called Destination Unknown. So Hilary had finished with life. So when she was invited to impersonate the dead wife of a vanished nuclear scientist, she decided it might make a more interesting form of a death caused by self-harm. But by the time she met her husband in a vast secret laboratory in Morocco, her wish to live had returned. The Goose Girl. This is one of the books that I feel like I've read, but when I started to read it, I was like, oh, I don't think I've read this. But I've told everyone I've read this, so it's about time that I make sure that I've read it. Where you need to learn to rescue yourself rather than falling accidentally into a happily ever after. A magical retelling of the Grimm's fairy tale, full of eloquent description of lovely imagery. I need to make sure I've actually read it, because everyone in my life thinks I've read this, and I thought I read it, but yeah. Next book, I like the art style, I thought it was cute. Me and Sam handle the apocalypse. There it is. Great Aunt Gustine was out getting a pedicure at Nails. Dad was teaching 9th grade English at Avery High School, and Mom was working with her bomb-sniffing dog near a place called Mosul in Iraq. The person who stole $2,103.15 from the high school's library fund that my father was responsible for was out spending the money, and our middle school principal, Miss Jorgensen, was someplace she had no business being. Again. Cops show up at Jessie's house and arrest her dad. She figures out in a hurry that he's the #1 suspect in the case of the missing library fund money. With the help of her first and only friend, she investigates, but she can't shake the feeling that she isn't exactly cut out for being a crime-solving hero. Jessie isn't neurotypical, which means that she's on the spectrum or whatever, but when a tornado strikes, Jessie and her Pomeranian Sam Sam are given the opportunity to show what they're really made of. Another book that the internet knows and loves that I haven't read, Legends and Lattes. I want to read this one, and then I also want to read, whatever number and whatever number. I'm not putting them together, but first book, second book in the same world. I don't think it's the same continuation of a story. I think this is one aspect of a world. This is another aspect of a world. Okay, so it is following the same character, but in a different aspect of the same world. Another Volume 1, Here Be Monsters. Skullduggery is afoot. Welcome to Ratbridge. But beware, for there is skullduggery afoot. Young Arthur has fallen foul of the appalling outlaw Snatcher, and is trapped alone in the town with every way home sealed. Meanwhile, Snatcher and his men are working tirelessly in secret on a fiendish and dastardly plan to take over and destroy the entire town. With the help of Wilbury Nibble, QC, some friendly box trolls, and cabbage heads, Marjorie? Yeah, I think that's right. Marjorie, the frustrated inventor, and the rats and pirates from the Ratbridge Nautical Laundry, can Arthur thwart Snatcher's evil plans and find his way home. And then it's illustrated throughout with more than 500 of the author's incredible black and white drawings. Shameless self-promotion right there. To be fair, they're pretty good, but shameless self-promotion. The next book I'd like to read is the second book in the Collectors series. It's called The Collectors, A Storm of Wishes. Now, when I first read The Collectors, I really liked it, but I wasn't ready to go to the next one because it kind of leaves... The book was sweet and cute and interesting, but had a dark undertone, right? But when I was done with the first one, I was like, this is kind of... I don't know if I really want to read more right now. It left this weird taste in my mouth. And it's interesting because, like I said, I liked that book. I wanted this book. But I was not ready to read it. And let's see. The world is full of wishes. Secret wishes. Birthday wishes. Wishes scribbled in diaries. Wishes mumbled to no one. Most wishes are merely words. I wish I didn't have school tomorrow. I wish I was rich. I wish I could just disappear. But some wishes are more than that. Some wishes, with help, can come true. Best with for a while was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So I have this one I haven't read, and I have the second one, Good Girl, Bad Blood. Anyway, I'm tempted, I'm interested. It's gotten to a place where I'm ready to read it. And then I have a book called Pecked to Death by Ducks, which I am very excited for because I saw the cover and I was like, that's a crazy cover. And then I saw the name of the book and I'm like, that's a crazy name. I love ducks. I want to read this. And then I looked on the back and it's a nonfiction book. I'm I thought this was just a silly story about ducks. But no. The General in His Labyrinth is the next book I am wanting to read. Like I said, I'm excited. I want to read this book. I just really like the art of this book. That's why I picked it up. But then I realized it's the guy that wrote 100 Years of Solitude. This is a historical fiction. This author always writes books about real things that have happened in a very visceral way. This one is Between Shades of Grey. Let's see. A knock comes at the door in the dead of night, and Lena's life changes in an instant. With her young brother and mother, she is hauled away by the Soviet secret police from her home in Lithuania and thrown into a cattle car en route to Siberia. Separated from her father, Lena secretly passes along clues in the form of drawings, hoping they will reach his prison camp. But will her letters or her courage be enough to unite her family? Will they be enough to keep her alive? So if you want to cry, you read books by this author. So I have to be in a place where I'm ready to cry. The next book is called Mastering the Art of French Murder. An American in Paris mystery. I love silly, cheesy mysteries that have something to do with cooking or food or travel. And sometimes you start these and they're like so bad, like written so poorly you have to stop reading them. But I'm hoping that's one of the ones that isn't, and I actually like it. We'll see. I picked this book up because it's called Agnes and the End of the World. And there are very few books that have characters named Agnes. So I'm actually trying to read all the books with like one of the main characters is named Agnes. Let's see. On Judgment, sorry, this thing's covered. On Judgment Day we shall shelter in the underground temple, with food enough for 100 days. Agnes loves her Red Creek home, its quiet, sunny mornings, its dusty roads, and its God. There she cares tirelessly for her younger siblings and follows the town's strict laws. So yes, it's about a girl in a cult. Who knows what happens after that? Okay, so this is a book I need to finish. And I've started, and I love it, but because I am writing down every weird situation, weird interaction, weird stare, glance, look, it's taking a while for me to read. And then, worst part about it was I lost it for like 3 months. And finally found it, and it was in a bag under my desk that I should have like seen or known about sooner. Anyway, this is The Paris Apartment, which a few of my friends are wanting me to read. And one of my friends, she really liked this book and like the writing style, and so I'm like, I know I like it too, but I haven't finished it. Last but not least, about people going through stuff. Let's see. A woman pretends to, let's say, cause self-harm to herself in the basement to see how long it takes for her husband to rescue her. Let's just say, like, did she go up to her husband and be like, hey, I'm gonna be in the basement. Remember that? Okay? Like, for further notice, remember that. Okay, bye. Like, did she, like, talk to him first, or did she just, like, go into the basement while he was at work and then, like, expect him to, like, find her? A heartbroken family mummifies their dead mother so they can keep her in the living room, sleep with her in bed, and join her at the dining room table. A rustic farmer wants his nose cut off to escape an embarrassing smell. A teenage boy will only come to therapy with his pet snake. So yeah, it's a bunch of stories about people going through some real stuff. Not stuff, real stuff. Excited for this. I like anything that's a little off or a little strange or a little weird. I'm at least going to give it a chance, right? Those are the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. And I hope you'll join me by reading your own 25 books. Or at least something. Please read something. For the love of God, please just read something. I will see you soon. Bye.